What is going on YouTube? King Money back again with another video, and today I'll be talking about aiming in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Warzone Season 1. So you clicked on this video because you're perhaps struggling with your aim. You want to get that sticky aim, that lock-on aim that you see some of the pro players have, and I'm here to help you with some tips that you can apply in order to achieve that. Let's go. So a big part of having good aim is ensuring that you have the right controller settings. I'm going to walk you through my controller settings right now that are specific to aiming, that will allow you or put you on the right path to having that good aim that you are dreaming of, you know what I mean? So we go like this, we go in the controller. So we want to start and look at things like the button stick layout. I play on default. My button layout is on tactical flip, so I can melee with my circle button. I have a scuff reflex, so I melee with my circle button. I can also drop shot with my right stick, and I jump and drop shot with my back paddles as well. Right, so the stick layout is on default. The horizontal stick sensitivity, I play on 7.7. I believe that personally I don't think you should go above 8. Some persons tend to go 10, 11, 12 to get that extra flashy movement, that camera shaking that you see they do on TikTok, which personally I feel it's really unnecessary sometimes. So horizontal stick sensitivity, it speaks to how sensitive your analog stick will be in moving to the left or to the right. You know what I mean? When you move it says specifically it said how much stick movement affects in-game aim. This affects the horizontal axis only, and the vertical stick sensitivity is really the opposite, how sensitive your analog stick is when looking up or down, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much it. My button layouts, I shoot with my L1, I aim with my L1, shoot with my R1. You can also use L2, R2, which is what some persons use. It's a matter of preference. Controller vibration, I ensure that this is turned off. When the controller vibration is turned on, I feel like it messes with your aim, that shaking in your hand. It kind of affects how steady your gun is and how steady and how firm you can hold that controller. Trigger effect is off. Dead zone inputs now. This is more, I'd say, specific to movement, but I can still walk through it just the same. The dead zone input, it looks really at the threshold at which your analog sticks have to move before a movement or action is activated, I would say. So for me, my dead zone input, my left stick minimum is at 4 because I have stick drift, right? So I'll show you what it's like when this value is turned down or when it's set to 0. If you have a new controller, you can put that to 0 to get that max responsiveness, you know what I mean? So I'm going to show you what mine is like. So because I have a stick drift, I have to put this at 4. Then now we can test the dead zone inputs, and you see that this value down on the left stick, it's moving, it keeps flickering both for the right stick and the left stick. So for the left stick, you see it's flickering between -4 and 0. When I increase this value up to 4, right, you set that value to whatever value you want to set it to until that stick drift disappears, and you see that now that it is at 4, you know, there is no action taking place on the left stick. The same concept applies to the right stick. I have a little bit of stick drift over there as well. So now we look at the left stick maximum. I put mine at 65. Remember I said it looks kind of at it also looks at the threshold at which you have to move the controller, you know what I mean, for a movement or that responsiveness to kick in, you know what I mean? So we look at the left stick max, it's at 65, right? The higher it is, well, the lower it is, the smaller the threshold and the more sensitive your analog stick will be when you're moving, you know what I mean? And as I said, it's more specific to movement, but I can still just share some info where that is concerned. So I put it back right there between 63, 65. I don't think you should be going more than that, you know what I mean? Because if you have to go more than that, it becomes a little too responsive and you trigger that tactical sprint. If you're playing with automatic tac sprint on, you know, it can be a factor as well. So we'll move over to the aiming tab. we look at the sensitivity multiplier, right? So the ADS sensitivity multiplier, this is the one that this is a setting that you want to look into. So the higher this value is, I play at a 0.85, the closer it is to 1, or if it goes over 1, the more sensitive your ADS will be when you're looking down that scope. So let me show you what it's like now with a 0.85. Let me go in game. So as you can see, when tracking, it's manageable at 0.85. You know what I mean? So we can move around. Let's say somebody moves to the right, or if I want to track someone over here, I have better tracking because the ADS sensitivity multiplier isn't too high. You don't want to be going below 0.85 or a 0.8. I believe that that is too low, and at the same time, right, you don't want to be going over 1. Most of the pro players, they play at 1. Nobody goes over 1. So let me show you what it's like when it's at 1. Right, as you can see, it's a little bit more responsive where that is concerned. So if I want to react or track someone, I don't have to put that much pressure on my right stick. You know what I mean? So let me put it over 1 to show you how sensitive it actually is when it's, you know, when it's increased. So let's say we put it to a 0.1 or a 0.2 or a 1.2. Right, you see how sensitive this is. You know what I mean? It can be a little too fast and be a little too confusing for some person. So you want to keep it at 0.85. And then we look at the aim response curve. This is dynamic. That's a setting that you want to use. People will tell you to run linear. Dynamic is perfect for those dynamic gunfights. You know what I mean? When persons try to hit you with that slide cancel, they say with the dynamic settings that it's more ideal for experienced players. It's a fast starting movement that slows down to the aiming rate. It's like a reverse S-curve mapping. That's what you want to be using. Anything else is a fraud and it will mess with your aim. So that's it for the controller settings. The next thing that I want to talk about has been a long-standing debate. It's something that triggers a lot of people, and this is known as aim assist. So what I'm going to show you is that how to activate that aim assist, how it's triggered, you know what I mean? So what you want to do, aim assist basically, what it does is that it slows down your aim whenever you come in contact with a target, and it allows you to track that enemy better. Once you are applying pressure to your left stick while strafing, moving in any direction, right, you will realize that once you lock on or aim to a target, the game will somewhat drag your aim to follow that target for a half a second. I'm going to demonstrate how to activate it right now. Check it out. Here it is, aim assist in full effect. This is my friend Frosty Hardy. He's in a custom game with me just to show you how this works. So what he's doing is that he's moving to the left and to the right. So I'm going to show you that once I ADS and move my left stick while he is moving, you will see that my aim drags in the direction that he is going. Right, so here it is. This is me not pressuring my right stick. As you can see, the game is assisting me while he moves. Right, it gives me that small and that slow lock on. Right, so I'm aiming over here. Frosty is in front of me. When I go like this, the aim tends to slow down. As you can see, Frosty is there. Me not moving my right stick gives me that little lock on, as you can see. And this is how aim assist works. It gives you a big advantage in the gunfight. So let's say that I'm right here, I buck up on Frosty, he's moving, aim assist, I'm locked onto him, and it's an easy kill. This is just me rotating my left and my left stick rather, and you can see there's a slight drag and a lock on. This is what is aim assist. Mouse and key players hate it, and it gives you a big edge in Call of Duty. It was stronger in Modern Warfare 3. It's still strong in this now. Once you know how to activate that aim assist, right, you'll be picking up more kills in your gunfights. Practice today. So the next thing that I want to talk about when it comes down to aiming is understanding your recoil patterns and practicing recoil control. So here I am in the firing range with the AK-74, no attachments, and I'm just going to aim at this wall you know what I mean, no action or movement on my left or right sticks, as you can see. And I'm just going to press the R1 button and just aim right here and see how the gun goes to work. L1 and R1. So I'm aiming down sights and I'm just going to shoot. So as you can see, all right, let's stop and take a look at the recoil pattern. So as you can see, the bullets in this gun, they start low, the gun kicks vertically, and then it moves a little bit to the right. So what you want to do in terms of controlling this recoil is that when you ADS and shoot, you're going to apply pressure to your left and right sticks and just try to move against this recoil pattern that you see on the board, as you can see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim right here, right? And then instead of allowing the gun to kick up, I'm going to put a little pressure on the right stick and move it a little bit to my left. All right, so here it is. So there it is. Let's try one more time. All right, so as you can see, the grouping is much more tighter with pressure applied onto the left and the right sticks. We want to be hitting all the shots. If this were a gunfight, the crosshairs right there, you can see that the bullets are within the crosshair, so we'd be hitting those chest and those upper body shots, which would put us in a better position to be winning the gunfights. So you want to be practicing this in the firing range before you go and play Warzone, before you go and play Nuketown. So now we can even try this with a I have a loadout preset for the AK-74. So we're going to take it to the firing range. So imagine having that good recoil control with no attachments. Whenever you put on your fully decked out gun, you know what I mean, that meta weapon, you should be able to hit all your shots and have better and perfect recoil control, as you will see here. Alright, so we're practicing that recoil control. Keep it right there within the space. That is good grouping, and I guarantee that if you are shooting like this in Warzone, in multiplayer, you'll be picking up high kills, and persons will perhaps report you, get your shadow ban, thinking that you're hacking. You know, so that's the next thing. So the next thing that I want to talk about when it comes on to aiming is the concept of centering. Centering in any FPS game is keeping the crosshairs in a position or at a level where you think an enemy will be. Ideally, you want this crosshair to be at the chest height at least, or at the head, right? So you can hit those high damage areas. So one way in which I ensure that I have good centering is by doing a simple exercise whereby I load into a custom game and I run behind my teammates just to get that feeling of having the crosshairs where they are supposed to be. Some persons, when they are running in Call of Duty, their crosshairs are down like this, and when an enemy is in front of them, they have to adjust their aim and then correct and then shoot. In a game where the time to kill is so fast, you really don't have the time to be doing this and correcting your aim, especially when you meet good players. 9 out of 10 times you're going to die. So what you want to do is to practice that centering. So here I am running behind a teammate, right? I'm just right behind him right there, and I'm practicing keeping the crosshairs where they are supposed to be. So when I turn the corner, he's right there. Let's say that my teammate is an enemy and I go in here, crosshairs are ready to shoot, boom, right there, get that kill. And we just try to run behind them about 10, not 10 minutes, about 3 to 5 minutes of this per day, and you will be on your way to getting that aim, you know, up to par and where it's supposed to be. So wherever he goes, I go. I give myself some time. He turns the corner, I turn the corner with him, and this becomes a habit. It becomes a muscle memory. And once you center your crosshairs, pretty much half the work in the fight is already done, and it comes down to execution. So he's right there, and I can switch and just try to run behind another teammate. Sometimes when you keep the crosshairs at the head height, sometimes the person dives, you may miss. So you try to keep it at the chest ideally, and then you work your way up when shooting, similar to this. Alright, so he's right here running behind them, boom, teammate, slide cancel, go around, crosshairs is right there, let's say an enemy is up here, I'm ready to challenge because my crosshairs are where they are supposed to be. You know what I mean? This is what you call good centering. You know what I mean? Practice this and you'll see the results. So now that I've explored the concept of centering, here is a clip that I want to share with you that shows you centering in action and how it allowed me to pick up this sequence of kills, you know what I mean, in multiplayer. Alright, so as you can see, I'm right here, centering right there, jump down, crosshairs are at the head height of the enemy, right? Anticipation is a big part as well, hitting all those shots. Here comes another enemy, crosshairs are centered using the UAV. It is right there at his chest, right there at the head. You see, we don't have to do much in terms of adjusting, and we have the advantage in the gunfight because the crosshairs are where they are supposed to be. Right here I was absolutely frying, you know what I mean? And as I said, because the crosshairs are at the right place, the gunfight was pretty much already in my advantage. I just had to execute and just do what I had to. I'm hitting all those shots, picking up the streak, and here it is, concept live in living colors. Another situation where centering was in full effect, and because I centered my crosshairs, I was able to pick up these kills on Nuketown. Right, so here it is, another case of movement. So here I am in a gunfight. I knew that I was under pressure in this situation. I knew that there was a second enemy there, and I was behind covers, and I knew that he was above me somewhat. So before coming from behind the covers, I had to put the crosshairs where I knew he was, and this allowed me to pick up that kill on Nuketown. Put me on a nice little streak, as you can see. So here it is, coming from behind the cover. I knew he was up there, put the crosshairs right there, strafe, and I was able to pick it up. Another situation, a centering is coming up right now. Boom, boom, boom. Check it out. Put a chop, one chop, waiting on them to come. Crosshair centered on the head or on the chest. Pick up that kill. We were frying. Guys in the window, center the crosshairs where I thought he was. You know what I mean? Movement right there. Drop shot. Centering in full effect. Full play. Start practicing to pick up more kills in multiplayer and in Warzone when it's here. I hope the tips that I shared today are helpful to you, and I just want you to go into that custom game, add those bots, and just practice every single thing that I talked about. 10 to 15 minutes per day is all you need. Go into that game, add those bots, practice that centering, enable the settings, trigger that aim assist, and all these factors combined will allow you to become a better player both in multiplayer and in Warzone. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you'd want me to talk about in the next video. Have a good day. I'm out. Peace. King Money. Up.